Hey everyone, I'm Antonio, one of your friendly Walmart radio DJs here. And we're here today with Walmart Wellness Live, and we're joined by a couple of very special guests to talk about something that's right at the center of your well-being, heart health. Yes, here to walk us through ways you can manage your heart health from home is Walmart Pharmacist Ada. Ada, how are you doing today? Looking great, like the shirt, everything. What's going on?
Hi, Antonio. I'm doing well. Hey, thank you so much for having me. I'm actually super excited to share some information about your heart and everything that you can do to keep it healthy. So I'm ready.
Awesome, Ada. I can't wait to hear from you. Looking forward to it. And we also have to introduce our very special guest, esteemed cardiologist, chief medical correspondent from Univision Television Network, a best-selling author, and the most recent co-founder of our new wellness line products called Santa Romero. Yes, which just launched exclusively right here at Walmart this week. Mr. Dr. Juan, what's going on today, man? Thanks for joining us.
Antonio, how are you? And I love how you roll that R in Santo Remedio. I love it. It's a pleasure to be here with you and with Ada. I want to thank Walmart for this great opportunity. And we're going to give folks a lot of good tips to take care of their hearts and especially prevent cardiovascular disease.
All right, speaking of tips, Juan, how about we just jump right into it, man? Can you tell us some basics about heart health?
So heart health is important. Why? Cardiovascular disease is the leading cause of death in the United States. And an important risk factor that you all should know about is hypertension. A lot of people say, what is high blood pressure? They know it's 130/70, they know their number, but they don't know what it is. Think about this, guys. Your heart has to pump blood to your organs, to your kidneys, to your brain, but it has to do it against a big artery called the aorta. And that aorta, it's going to exert some pressure on your heart. That is your blood pressure. That is why when your blood pressure is elevated, your heart has to work harder to make sure that your body is well oxygenated. So that is why it is important to decrease that resistance, to decrease blood pressure, so your heart can work in a normal fashion.
Well, the problem with that, Dr. Juan, is that a lot of people, they aren't even aware that they have high blood pressure, and that can be really dangerous. Can you talk to us more about that?
You're absolutely right, Ada. As a matter of fact, they call hypertension the silent killer because there are a lot of people that can have high blood pressure, even 160, 170, and they just don't feel anything. That is why it's so important that at least once a year you go to your doctor and they do a screening blood pressure reading. What should be the average blood pressure you have? The guidelines recently changed. It should be the top number, the systolic blood pressure, should be less than 120. And the diastolic blood pressure, the bottom number, should be less than 90. So it is very important that you know that number at least, if you're a healthy individual, at least once a year. Your primary care doctor should tell you what your blood pressure is. There's a lot of things that you can do to make sure your blood pressure is normal, and we're going to talk about those things here with Ada, with you, and with Antonio.
Absolutely. And hypertension is something that we all need to be taking a bit more serious. So can you tell us more about maybe some of the people who are at a higher risk for developing high blood pressure?
Definitely. There are risk factors for the development of high blood pressure. Diabetes, so people that have high blood sugar, they have a tendency to develop high blood pressure. Obesity, so individuals with a body mass index of especially more than 30 are going to have a tendency to develop blood pressure, high blood pressure. People that have a diet that is high on processed foods, and a lot of you might not know what I mean when I say processed foods. Those are the ones that have a high content of sodium, salt. And a lot of people say, no, I don't use salt on my food. Table salt, I don't do it. That's only 7% of the sodium that you're ingesting. The other 93% is hidden in processed food. So you have to be very careful about what you're eating. People that smoke can have an increased risk of high blood pressure. People that drink too much. So the alcohol is tricky. And I'm always careful as a cardiologist to basically give advice to people when it comes to alcohol. If you have one drink a day, that actually dilates your blood vessels and it might help control your blood pressure. But if you do more than that, if you abuse it, what happens is that your blood vessels constrict and that increases your high blood pressure and that increases your cardiovascular risk.
Okay, so Dr. Juan, you mentioned a lot of different people in different categories. But what can all of those people in all of the categories that you talked about do to improve their blood pressure before it even begins to affect their health?
Very important, Ada. So for some of these individuals, it's very specific. The people that are drinking too much, they either have to stop or they have to drink alcohol in moderation. People that are smoking, they need to seek help for smoking cessation. It's not easy, but remember, it's doable. You have to continue trying. People that have overweight or who suffer from obesity, they need to lose weight and get to their ideal body weight. And unfortunately, they have to find a great partnership with a doctor who is going to understand that it's not only telling a patient, oh, you need to lose weight, I'll see you in 3 months. No, you have to develop a plan, a nutrition plan, an exercise plan, a stress reduction plan, a better sleep plan to be able to control hypertension, cardiovascular disease. You have to sleep, for example, 7 to 8 hours a night. Why? People who sleep less than 6 hours a night, they develop hypertension. People that have sleep apnea, they develop hypertension. People that don't exercise can develop hypertension. So you basically need to find that life balance that include stress reduction, a good diet, good exercise, good sleep, and happiness, actually, to be able to control that blood pressure. 2 other tricks that you guys can start doing immediately. Number 1, yoga. Yoga has been shown to decrease blood pressure in a good percentage of individuals who practice this sport. And finally, I'm going to give you a santo remedio, Ada, hibiscus tea. And that is one of my santo remedios that you can find at Walmart. But hibiscus tea basically has been shown to help in the reduction of blood pressure. If you drink 2 hibiscus teas a day, in one study, it showed a similar benefit to a blood pressure medication. So there's a lot of natural things and lifestyle things that we can use starting today to take care of ourselves.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing all of that information with us, Dr. Juan. I'm definitely going to have to look into all of that. One thing that you did mention was having a healthy diet. But can you tell us more about what exactly that means?
So, Ada, in my professional opinion, I think that what that means, it's different for different people. What do I mean? I'm going to take my example. I'm a Hispanic American. So one of the issues that it's important to me, and it actually runs in my family, is diabetes. My 2 parents are diabetic, so it is very important to me to control blood sugar. So for me, a diet that is high on protein and lower in carbohydrates, that doesn't mean eliminating carbohydrates. It means that you have to focus on good carbs. For me, that diet in combination with exercise is very important because I'm trying to control my blood sugar at all time. Now, for someone, for example, who comes from a family where hypertension is very prevalent, a diet low in sodium is going to be the most important thing because that's how you try to prevent hypertension. That is why I think that that partnership with the doctor is very important, or with the nutritionist, because they have to tailor the best diet for you. And there are other things that people can employ to improve their diets. For example, nowadays there's a lot of good data with intermittent fasting, and that has been shown to improve glucose control, cardiovascular risk. So I think it's important to individualize diet and not give general advice in terms of what people should be eating and what people shouldn't.
Okay, and then how do you feel about people maybe monitoring their blood pressure while at home? What can you tell us about that?
Very important, Ada. Why is that very important? The more data that you can give your doctor, the better that doctor is going to be able to take care of you. There's a lot of people that come to the doctor and they're nervous, they're anxious, and their blood pressure might be elevated. But if you have a log of your blood pressure measurements that you did at home and all the blood pressure measurements are normal, then the doctor can say, oh, this is just that white coat hypertension. This person is not really hypertensive. He or she is just anxious. And you know what that avoids? Unnecessary medication. Because if that doctor does not have that extra data, that doctor might say, well, you need a medication. And so I think it is very important that not only for hypertension, Ada, for diabetes, for heart disease, for any type of illness, there's got to be a partnership between the doctor and the patient. This is not a paternalistic relationship anymore. It's really a team. So the more you can help the doctor, the more the doctor is going to help you. So that's how I practice medicine, and that's how I think it should be done. So any data that you can get at home is just going to help. That's why I personally love these new monitors and all this information that we can get from patients. I know that some doctors find it overwhelming. I actually love it, and I enjoy a patient that is well informed, actually.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more, Dr. Juan. And you know, Walmart makes it so easy for patients to monitor their blood pressure while at home. We sell a wide variety of devices, and most stores even offer in-store kiosks where patients can walk right up and check their blood pressure on a daily basis. And best of all, it's free. So yes, thank you, Dr. Juan. Thank you for all of that information.
Absolutely, Ada. I think that having the resources like you're mentioning, if there's anyone who is listening to us who for whatever reason feels a little bit insecure about measuring their own blood pressure, go to one of the stores, get someone to help you, and at the end of the day, you're going to learn how to do it yourself. So I think that that's a great service. And again, that also speaks, Ada, to that partnership between a doctor, or in this case with Walmart, with the community. And I think that that is the best medicine in the world.
Okay, I have one more question for you, because I know that's what everybody wants to know. So you've given us a lot, and thank you for that, but people want to know, what about small changes? What small changes can someone do to start already? Because I have some people that are going to want to start as of right now, as of today. As soon as they see this, they're going to want to go home and do something. What can they do? Where can they start?
Let's talk about that, Ada. Things that you can do immediately. Okay? So if you're not doing any exercise at this point in time, just start with a walk. That's it. I just want you to walk initially for, let's say, 15 minutes. And after a week, you're going to walk for 30 minutes. And then for 45 minutes. Take it easy. Do not be a weekend warrior. You know what that is? The people that say, oh my God, it's January 1st. I'm going to go to the gym. I paid for the membership. And they last one weekend because they work out so hard and so much that basically they are like, oh, I don't like this. I can't do this anymore. No. Small steps. In Spanish, you know what we say? And you know this, Ada? De poquito a poco. That means little by little will get you to big changes. What else can you do? I want you, especially, I'm going to talk to women in our community because women are the CEOs of our families and they take care of everyone else and they don't take care of themselves sometimes. I want you, the CEO of that household, to take some time for you. 30 minutes. You have to reduce stress. You have to do something you like. It might be dancing salsa. It might be listening to music. It might be a bath. It might be exercise. Whatever it is, it might be a Netflix documentary. Whatever it is that you like to reduce stress, you have to start now. In terms of diet, start removing salt immediately. Do not use salt, added salt. You will later on start focusing more on processed food and the hidden salt. But immediately, you can start cooking without salt. Use other spices. Try to find other spices from different countries that you might like and you don't know. If you drink alcohol and you think you're drinking too much, you have to start reducing the consumption, because that is going to have a bad effect on your blood pressure and eventually on your heart. Sleep. If you're not sleeping that 7 to 8 hours a night, that is affecting your heart. It is affecting your blood pressure. Hibiscus tea. You can do that immediately. Start drinking some good old-fashioned hibiscus tea, and that's going to help you also to control your blood pressure. And like Ada was saying, always know your number. Check your blood pressure at home, check your blood pressure at Walmart, but you need to take ownership of your health. Like I said, this is not a paternalistic relationship. The doctor is not in charge of you. You are in charge of you. You're getting your data. You're getting the numbers. You're getting the call to action. What I'm doing as a physician is just helping you. I'm a guide. That's what I'm doing for you. You need to be able to use my 20 years of studying or whatever it was that left me bald, basically, in order for you to get the benefit, the knowledge, the plan that you need. But at the end of the day, it's your call, it's your responsibility, and it's your life.
Guys.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for that.
Let me just say, Ada, Dr. Juan, something told me to grab a pen and paper, because this was some good information that I probably should have wrote down. But I did manage to take some mental notes that I'm probably going to take with me. Me starting off first, I'm going to get some sleep. I need more sleep. I figured that out. And I'm going to start a plan to do a better diet. And I do like the way you said different salts. Try different seasonings instead of just using the same salt. So those, I'm gonna start with 3, because you say poquito, little ones. I'm gonna start small right there, and then advance from there. So I probably got more questions, but I would like to turn it over to our viewers just in case they have some questions for you guys as well. One question is, what are some first steps people can take if they have high blood pressure but feel overwhelmed?
Yeah, I think, Antonio, that the first thing is to understand the problem. There's an important aspect here about diagnosing hypertension. Just because you have one reading that it's elevated does not mean that you have hypertension. You have to make sure that you have more than 2 readings, 2 different days, in order for you to say, well, I might have hypertension. When we are stressed out, it's normal for your blood pressure to go up. It's going to go down. That's a natural mechanism. It's going to happen. And if you have any questions about that, you should ask your primary care doctor. In terms of what to do, as we were saying, sleep better, get your 7 to 8 hours, start walking immediately. If you have a pet, if you have a dog, take your dog. You need to start reducing alcohol consumption. If you're drinking too much, stop smoking. If you're smoking, I know that is not easy, but there's a lot of smoking cessation tools out there. You have to start reducing stress. And like I said, my favorite hibiscus tea, you can definitely try that Santo Remedio as well.
Awesome.
And the thing to remember, Antonio, is to start small. Small, steady steps equate to big changes in the long run. So just start small. Don't get overwhelmed.
I think I can do that. So say if your doctor prescribes some medication for high blood pressure, right? And will I have to take that forever?
That's a great question, Antonio. And let me tell you, that's a question that I get constantly. And the reality and the truth is the following. For some people, it will be for life. For others, it's not. Let me explain. If you have someone who is obese, for example, who is not exercising, who has a horrible diet, and his or her blood pressure is elevated, and you go on a plan and you start reducing the risk factors, losing weight, eating better, exercising. Let's say this person drops 30 pounds, 40 pounds. There is a chance that at the end of the day, that individual is not going to require that blood pressure medication. Now, there are also people that don't have an obesity problem that are exercising and due to genetic factors have hypertension. That's a little bit of a more difficult situation. That's an individual that probably will need high blood pressure medications for life. And it's okay. It's okay because what they're trying to do, what his or her doctors are trying to do, is control that risk factor. By controlling that blood pressure, you're reducing the risk of a heart attack, you're reducing the risk of stroke. And if we need a little help, then we need a little help.
I agree. Now, I got another question. Like, you say some people like to incorporate walking, but I'm not the biggest walking type of person. Do you have any like other exercises that like you recommend doing?
So listen, you have to move. It doesn't matter that much how you do it, but if you like to dance, you dance. If you like to walk, you walk. If you like to play tennis, you play tennis. If you like to swim, you swim. The important thing is that your lifestyle is an active lifestyle. And that is the important thing.
Ada, Dr. Juan, this has been awesome. Clearly, we can all make small choices every day that will lead us to heart-healthy lives, yeah? And thank you for everyone watching. I know this will be super helpful information for all of you. And remember, you can use your local Walmart pharmacist as a resource. Right now, most Walmart pharmacists are open and providing prescriptions, screenings, and immunizations with easy pickup options available at all stores. And remember, on Tuesday mornings, we offer a special shopping hour for our seniors. And make sure you take a look at all the awesome content we have here on the Walmart Wellness Hub. Thank you for joining us for Walmart Wellness Live, and be sure to get your flu shots.